Hello everybody, SirMonkeySuit or Zappy here, back again with Code Geass. We're on the last episode of Season 1, the finale. Alright, so, Code Geass, last episode. Alright, so essentially, Yuffie is dead. She's died. Lelouch shot her because there was no other way to basically undo the order that he gave her, accidentally. So yeah, so she died. Suzaku met fucking Marianne, which is no, not Marianne. V2, C2 talks to somebody called Marianne, which I don't know yet, but she talks to her. But yeah, so Suzaku met V2, who apparently told Suzaku what happened and how Lelouch has this power, I guess. But yeah, obviously Suzaku's in a fucking rage right now. He's gone off the deep end. He's absolutely going crazy, and obviously he's on a murder mission to murder Zero, right? Cornelia is exactly the same. Lelouch did this amazing thing with General Dalton earlier on. Gave him an order to essentially betray Cornelia. Lelouch set it up so that it would be one-on-one with Cornelia in the Ares Villa. And obviously, when the fight broke out, General Dalton attacked Cornelia, and now Cornelia is basically done. And also, the fucking General Dalton's mech or nightmare frame just exploded, and now he's dead. So yeah, fucking just Lelouch making moves out there. Nunnally also met V2, and V2's, I guess, taken Nunnally away somewhere. I don't know where though. But yeah, Suzaku was basically baited into another of Rockshard's sort of like AMP fucking circle thing. So obviously Lancelot's down right now. The student council apparently are out there to go help him, according to what Nunnally said. And Carlin revealed herself to the student council, so now the student council know that Carlin is indeed a Black Knight. We had Valletta, who got her memory back and shot Ogi. We don't know if those feelings. I feel like her feelings are still kind of there, and that's the reason why she didn't just outright kill him. Otherwise, I feel like she would have just done him in and just killed him off. But he's still alive, so yeah. And yeah, there's this whole Code R thing with Bartley, which apparently relates to something about the Geass. Obviously, it was Bartley and Clovis originally who had the idea of, on using C2 was you know what I mean. It was kind of like an all underground thing. Apparently, only Clovis and Bartley knew about it. Maybe the Emperor did, but I'm not too sure. But it was a sort of side project, like secret project that they were going on. And Code R, it's got to revolve around obviously the Geass type thing. It's not specifically around C2, but apparently they've gotten Jeremiah from fucking last time we saw him was ages ago. But he's come back into the fray. He was in a tank. He's sort of like a fucking cybernetic, he's a cyborg right now, which is fucking crazy. And obviously he's wanting fucking Zero as well. So you've got Cornelia, Suzaku, and Jeremiah all fucking vying to just fucking jump and pounce on Zero. So yeah, it's crazy. And also there was a new opening, new opening, episode 24, great. It's like, what? But yes, that is all. So yeah, I've rambled on for way too long. It's almost coming up to 10 minutes now, sorry about that. If I remember on, I'll put a fucking a time stamp or whatever to what time you need to go to for the reaction. But yeah, without further ado, this is it. End of season 1, and then season 2 will come shortly. So, let's go. Season 1 of episode 25 of Code Geass. Let's go. What? Are you kidding? Are you actually kidding? That is the fucking cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger over a season. That you end the season on that? No! Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, okay. Um. All right. First off, so Cornelia didn't know then. Cornelia didn't know who was responsible for Marianne's death. And then it hit me. Marianne. That is the name of the person that apparently C2 speaking to. And Lady Marianne is that's the name of Lelouch's mother, right? There's no way that's a coincidence. There's no way that's two people. But I feel like there's something weird at play here because C2 calls herself a witch, and C2, one of the first things she said during this episode was she basically called Lelouch to basically hurry because Nunnally was kidnapped. I think that the quote she said was, "I know because that's what you live for." So I think when C2 is sort of like attached to somebody via this Geass or whatever the hell it is, I think she becomes like part of them. She almost like takes on like, I don't know how much, but she, and I don't know if it was just the way they said it. I don't know if the context was entirely right. But she said that she knew Nunnally was kidnapped because that's what Lelouch lives for. So she has some sort of sense, depending on what Lelouch wants. So I guess she can make decisions on what like Lelouch is looking to do. Maybe that's why sometimes she just shows up knowing where Lelouch is, even though even though, you know, she shouldn't because she doesn't have that information, but she maybe she has this information. She has some sort of connection with him to the point where she can either sense like obviously where he is, what he's doing, what he's thinking, and what his goals are. And obviously since like his goal is obviously to, like, you know what I mean, Nunnally first and foremost, maybe she knows like the location of Nunnally at all times as well. I'm just judging that by the way she said it. There seems to be a connection with Lelouch. With Marianne being Lelouch's mother, C2 speaks to Marianne. I'm wondering if she's speaking to her, like, from beyond the fucking, like, beyond death, possibly. I find it interesting that how, I guess in Japanese culture, a witch is sort of, I guess is the opposite of witch supposed to be a demon? Is that what they say? Because I thought that was weird at first. Because I'm like, well, surely the you know, the male version of a witch is a wizard, right? Not a demon. But if C2 is obviously connected with Lelouch, like on that sort of level, maybe she can, you know, she can actually make contact with Lady Marianne in some capacity. Because I feel like, you know, more often than not in a show, it's very rare that you would get like two characters with the same name, especially one that's sort of like out there as Marianne is. So the chances of this being two different Mariannes is like 0.0001% or something like that. Like honestly, I'm positive, because obviously there has to be some connection there, and I'm just wondering, either is she talking to Marianne, who Marianne wasn't actually killed, because if I don't know, like I don't know what was done. Apparently, the Emperor ordered Schneisel or whatever to get Marianne's body immediately out of there. So I'm wondering if she wasn't truly dead, or if she was given the Jeremiah treatment, and she's like a fucking like a cyborg or whatnot. Because remember, the Emperor is looking for, like, well, according to Bartley, the Emperor is looking for these Geass sort of like shrines and whatnot around the world. If we're taking all this into consideration, knowing what we know, the fact that, you know, we have we have Jeremiah, who was clearly brought back from. He wasn't really brought back from the dead, at least at least from what we know, because the last thing we saw of him before he was in the tank was at the battle where they were on top of the mountain, where the Japanese Liberation Front sort of headquarters was. And Jeremiah nearly died, but he survived. He walked into the middle of the road, a van pulled up or whatever, and they basically got him. I think that van was full of people who were like lab assistants, like researchers, like shit like that, scientists that were a part of that sort of group that are involved in the Code R thing. So obviously they picked him up and they've used him as an experiment, essentially, I guess. Knowing who he is as well. But I mean, knowing the Emperor, I can imagine like it being a case of like the Emperor wanting complete control. That's clearly this guy's like goal, is to have complete control, unlimited power. I can see him being like, I don't know, if Marianne was as great a lady as like people say that she is, I can imagine her being like someone who actually stood up to the Emperor, possibly, or like didn't agree with what the Emperor was doing, and for that he wanted probably complete control over her. So they ordered to like either kill her, nearly kill her, or like bring her body back, do this whole like sort of like this Code R experiment thing, bring her back to life in order to sort of like control her with like bring her back, like control her that way. And if it's Geass related, obviously C2 has a connection with the Geass. You can tell, like because I figured at first when she was like, oh, Nullie's been kidnapped, I was like, oh, it must be because she has a connection with V2. They have that, like, I feel like they have like a sort of like a hive mind connection kind of thing going on, but she didn't say it was that. She was just because it was a connection with Lelouch, how she knew that. But if that's the case, obviously Lelouch, obviously Marianne being his mother, should maybe have that connection, be able to contact with her. I don't know why it would be different for her versus like. Oh no, it would be could possibly be very different for Lady Marianne, because if she's been given the Geass treatment, like, because that's what the Emperor's going around trying to get and whatnot. If she's been like fused with like this Geass kind of whatever the fuck it is, this magic shit, then maybe that gives C2 a way to communicate. You know what I mean, like vicariously through the Geass, I guess, with Marianne. But that's the thing. I mean, I think it's either one of the two things. Either Lady Marianne's alive due to the power of the Geass magic shit, or she is dead and she's able to contact her through the I don't know, through death, I guess. Because C2 can't die. So she might have some sort of presence, like, I don't know, in purgatory or something like that. It's interesting though. But Lady Marianne knew she was going to be attacked. I don't know how she knew that. I don't know. Was it said? I may have missed it. I hope it didn't. But she said she knew she was going to be attacked. So I'm still not sure. I'm still not clear on Lelouch's sort of. Because I figured if it came to Cornelia, Cornelia would be a one in which he would kill. He would just straight up like he did Clovis. I guess that was just put off by the fact that Jeremiah showed up though. But I'm still not particularly sure because I mean I figure he would kill Cornelia because Cornelia is you know what I mean, like just as bad as Clovis was, or well. Well, yeah, she is. So I don't see why he wouldn't. If he's going to kill Clovis for what he did, like I feel like Cornelia would get it as well. Yeah, but she's still alive. So yeah, we'll have obviously the guy with the glasses or whatever. I can't remember his name. Not Lloyd. The guy was a Black Knight. He was basically he was talking to Ziaro, basically saying that Ogi was shot and whatnot, yeah. And I noticed the fact that he picked up on the word like replacement. I feel like we're in a very... The Black Knights are in a very sort of tough phase right now. I think they're very sort of... It's like the rug's being pulled out from under them, you know what I mean? I mean, one thing, you had Zero leave, which you could see it was like basically going to every important character from the Black Knights, basically, and they were all like, what do you mean, where's he going? They were all panicking like, fuck, they don't know what the hell they were going to do. And it just goes to show us, like, they really... They rely on him so much, like, for it to literally, like, just fall apart because Zero up and left the battlefield. You know what I mean? They are not very well set up, I feel like. There's not particularly a second in command. You know what I mean? I feel like they were just, like, sort of, you know, they're all given, like, you know, specific tasks in this sort of military outfit, and you know, I mean, they're all given their jobs, but I'm not sure there was a real second in command. Someone to you know what I mean, to take over. I just feel like because Zero's on such like another level, that as soon as he leaves, you feel that presence go. You feel the fact that, oh shit, like, he's a fucking, you know what I mean, like, the reason why they've won all of these battles and got as far as they did was because of Zero. You remove him out of the picture, and all of a sudden it's like a fucking, like, I feel like it moves to Britannia's, like, sort of advantage, because like it's at the point now where Britannia are sort of like, now the odds are in their favor. Zero has so much, like, because of his power and all of that, and because he's very smart and clever, he has, like, sort of the he's the one that gives them the edge, even though, like, so much more. It's not like you have the Black Knights and then you have Britannia, and then because you add Zero to the mix, it puts them on a level playing field. I feel like with Zero, like, it puts them above that, you know what I mean? Like, because Zero, like, because Lelouch's just so fucking, like, he's so powerful that he gives that sort of... So basically when he leaves, and they can't rely on him anymore, I feel like they feel that a lot. But yeah, it's nuts. I feel like I lost my train of thought there. I feel like I switched over to something, and I was supposed to talk. I was supposed to talk about something there, and I can't remember what it was. I guess that's all I was going to talk about, I guess. But yeah, so we had, oh yeah, the replacement thing. Yeah, so obviously it's you know, keyed into people's minds now that, you know, Zero is, while he's led them this far and he's got them this far, which, you know, says a fucking lot, the guy still hasn't obviously revealed his face to them, and, you know, that's been a top of a conversation, like, ever since this started. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, show your face, because the trust is just not there. You know what I mean? It could be anybody, and they would never know it. And for that reason, something as little as just showing your face, just, you know, gives people an element of trust that otherwise you don't get. You know what I mean? It's you know, a lot of people have sort of even issues with people who do show their face, but feel like, you know what I mean, they're scared of what people might think, because even though you've got a face, right? You still don't know what a lot of people think on like, you know what I mean, inside. What's going on in people's minds, which scares a lot of people, and that's even more apparent in the fact that the guy wears a mask, and there's even just that. But the fact that the guy obviously picked up on the fact that we're a replacement, you know what I mean? Ogie's supposed to be the, I guess out of everyone, Ogie is the second in command, isn't he? That's what I was saying before. There's not really a second in command. I mean, there's Ogi, because he's the one that originally had it with that like little resistance group that they had going on at the very start. He was the one left after Naruto got like basically committed suicide in the van in like episode 1. Ogi was, you know what I mean? So basically Ogi got, obviously he got shot, so he can't do it. And then at that point, obviously it all falls apart. So yeah, but even then, like even with Ogi like fucked, he's basically still given you know what I mean, an order to Carlin to follow Suzaku, obviously to go after Zero. But yeah, so Lady Cecile's nightmare, I haven't got a name on that, but it's definitely like one of the ones that is up there, I imagine, because you know obviously Lloyd had something to do with it. I wonder if it's another night at the round table. But yeah, I was wondering, like, Cecile's like getting ready, getting up in all this gear, and I'm like, fucking hell, is she gonna go out in there and fight? Because I didn't even know she had those like kind of skills, but apparently she does. So yeah, for Cornelia basically says that Suzaku is now a knight in name and station. So I guess that means that Suzaku is a knight across the board, like across all of Britannia, and not just Yuffie's personal knight. I guess she kind of had to do that because I guess with Yuffie dead, you know, that like I guess his role as a knight like diminished? Is it just gone? If Yuffie dies? I mean, this is all because of like being caught up in the chaos. You know what I mean? This is because like literally after Yuffie died, everyone just went to war. I wonder how different this would have went if people were like, if it went a bit more calmer. If Cornelia would, instead of like maybe, well, because she didn't really praise Suzaku, but she didn't like berate him either. I wonder if it was like a different situation. Yuffie'd still had died though. If he would have been like dishonorably discharged, you know what I mean? Like fucking, I don't know, or put to death or whatever the fuck. Because it's like, you know, he's an 11, so. You know what I mean? And I feel like because obviously he's Yuffie's personal knight, that he's the one that should be protecting that. Remember this, like, it was not long ago since he was given this role of knight. Like, it hasn't been for that long, and she's already died. So, you know, you could easily see, like, from Cornelia's point of view that that she would just look at Suzaku and be like, "You didn't fucking protect my little sister, you cunt." And then, you know what I mean? And then just, you know what I mean? You could see that happening. But I guess for the situations, I don't know. Maybe she's a bit more melancholy because of the fucking situation she's like, you know, she's taking a bump to the head and shit, and she's very, like, losing blood and stuff like that. And she could probably be a bit, you know what I mean, different because of that. But yeah, he's now a knight in name and station, so I guess that means he's a full-on Britannia knight, like, across all of Britannia, I imagine. But we'll see. So yeah, so fucking Nina, which I'm guessing she made the most powerful nightmare that there is so far. Am I right in saying that? Because even Lloyd was like, "Oh fuck, wait a minute here, holy shit!" So that's why Lloyd was so interested that in that episode with Nina and what she was doing, because she was making a nightmare. I don't know why she decided to make a nightmare like that early on. You know what I mean? Because like obviously Yuffie hadn't died. I feel like the reason why would she need reason to make a nightmare? Is it for protection? Because I feel like, because obviously she's always had this problem with like, oh shit, 11. You know what I mean? Possible protection, I guess, but fucking, I don't know. It's a weird looking thing. It looks like it's fucking holding a big gas canister. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's just, it looks fucking like, you know. I completely forgot. You know what I mean? At the very start, I'm like, oh, you've got all these people vying for Zero, like going for Zero, and then it's like, oh yeah, Nina is as well. But like, I don't know where that's gonna go. Like, where that's gonna go, because Nina hasn't moved yet. She hasn't done anything. Before they went in the cave, there was that whole fucking weird Geass shit that happened again, where they sort of like, you know, they get sporadic memories and shit. And it showed C2, which I'm presuming was World War II. I'm guessing. And you know what I mean, the reason why, obviously, I guess she can't die is because she's a witch. Or she can't die from any sort of like normal, everyday means, like how a human would die. She wouldn't die to those means. There may be another way. She's sort of like, I don't know, she's kind of connected with magic. I don't know if there's a way that you could like shut her down and that would kill her. I don't know, but she can't die of any human way, or I guess old age either, because she doesn't seem to age at all. But that's a weird revelation. Like, I never guessed that she would be like labeled as a witch. Like, that's crazy. A witch? Because I had it down as like supernatural shit, but because of like the shrines and stuff, it has a more. And obviously with the show like being set, I mean it's supposed to be like set in the future from when they created this. You know, I don't know if this is what they were hoping like would happen at this point, because it's like 2017 or whatever, right? I think. I don't know if like the writers thought that by this time would have mechs and whatnot. I'm pretty sure like would do, but they're not really. They're not. You know, they're not. They're not actually in like service. Like they're not actually like, we don't actually use them for war yet. But you know, it kind of has this feel of a bit more like tech heavy. It's a bit more technology based, whereas the witch is more like. I feel like, you know, that is a lot more like ancient shit. That's more like mythological type shit, you know what I mean? It's not the same kind of supernatural that I'm thinking. You know, so it's mad to think that like that C2's been labeled, like that's the label to go with, is she's a witch. So yeah. Makes me wonder how long this, I guess if she's a witch. Oh, I don't know then. Is it just that, like, I don't know, there's a bunch of witches. She's C2, you have V2. I'm guessing she's a witch as well. I don't know where the Geass thing comes from then. Because I figure as a witch, you just do spells and shit. You'd like, a Geass is sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't class that as a spell. But then I don't know what it would class it as. Like, could a Geass be considered almost like a wand? Where, you know, you like, I don't know, like maybe it's imbued with, like a wand is imbued with power. So, you know, anybody, like a witch could pass it on to someone normal, and I don't know, fucking this normal person going, it would fucking fire something, like fireball or some shit. Could it be something like that? So, you know, if C2 is like obviously passed on this Geass, the Geass could be like, you could think of it as what an imbued with power wand could be, or a staff or something, you know. Except it's just, you know, it's a power that completely takes over one's body or something, you know. It's quite crazy. It's a quite crazy revelation. It's just weird. C2 obviously kamikaze on Jeremiah. Nice. Obviously with C2 not being able to die, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I feel like Jeremiah's like a fucking cockroach. He's just one of those that you keep trying to kill and he just keeps coming back. I think someone told me that like originally Jeremiah was supposed to die, like that one time, but then like they brought him back because he's a fan favorite, and I can see why. I mean, I find it funny. I find it funny that every time like he shows up or whatever, it's fucking Lelouch is like, "Oh, hello, orange boy." And he gets so fucking furious about it. It's funny. But yeah, like Jeremiah is so fucking, he's so, you know, he gets so agitated by like Zero, and so he's so focused on him. It's just funny watching him go crazy about it. But yeah, Kamikaze. Yeah. Not Eminem either, but you know. I love how Lelouch is always like one step ahead. He always has fucking some game plan. He always has something to go on. The fact that he had some Sakuradite that I guess he can attach to himself, and it's basically being run by his heart. So if his heart was to stop, it would explode and bring the whole fucking cave down. I mean, I just love the fact that he always has this kind of like this plan B in place in case he can't, you know what I mean, in case something happens. I'm surprised he had that. He must have had that like that plan like pretty far back, like before the battle started, because there's no. I just think there's no way that he would have time to think about that on the way to saving Nunnally. You know what I mean? Because Nunnally is such. You know what I mean? Like that is the priority. Not only is the priority that he wouldn't even be thinking about that. So that must be something he had beforehand. But yeah, I don't understand why Colin is so distraught that it's Lelouch. Like, I just don't. I don't understand the whole like. Colin being, oh, you were just using, like, what? Just like, because the whole using thing is based upon Zero doing it. So it doesn't matter who is underneath the helmet, Zero was using them anyway. So I don't know why she's so like upset that like she's so distraught that it's Lelouch that's doing it. You know what I mean? Like. It's almost like because she found out who it was, she was so fucking, I don't know. The only thing I can possibly guess that it is that the fact that because Lelouch was so close to them this whole time, that maybe that's what caught Colin off guard, and that's why she's so distraught. But I just feel like, you know, the person who's using them is Zero, the one that only she knows is just a mask, and she doesn't know who's behind it. So it doesn't matter who it was that is underneath the mask. He was using them regardless. You know what I mean? I find it just funny that like, you know what I mean, that just so distraught. So it was almost like there was a she has a gun, right? And the last thing we saw was, or heard, I guess, was a gunshot. Now, stories generally, you'd have, like, in that instance, it would be Colin that shot somebody. I have to imagine, but because it's Lelouch, I feel like, you know what I mean, it's not that simple, obviously. So I feel like he could just incapacitate him, keep him alive so that his heart doesn't stop, which means the Sakuradite bomb doesn't explode. So there's that. I feel like the only person who hasn't shot is Lelouch. I feel like Lelouch is the only one that wouldn't shoot. Because I just can't. Or, actually, no, I think Lelouch would shoot. Lelouch's reason for shooting would be, you know, he has to stay alive in order to protect Nunnally, right? So if that means that he has to kill Suzaku in order to do it, I feel like he would do it. However, there was that fucking order that he gave him, right? To live. So in any dangerous situation that Suzaku finds himself in now, if there's any way to get out of it, he'll try anything and everything to avoid dying, right? Because that's the order that Lelouch gave him. And I feel like it's very poetic, the idea that Lelouch is the one that gave Suzaku the order to live, and when Lelouch wants to kill him, he can't because of that order they give him, you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like each and every one of them, all the three characters, have a reason to kill each other, except Zero and Carlin. I don't see why I don't see why Carlin would shoot Lelouch. No, there's no reason for that. I don't care how distraught she is. There's no reason for Carlin to shoot Lelouch, because I mean, because there's nothing there. Even I see, that's the thing with Carlin. I just feel like she's way too like overly emotional about the fact that it's Lelouch who's Zero. Because it's no like secret to anybody with a fucking with a brain cell could tell that from the beginning Zero is using them anyway. You know what I mean? He's using them to his own advantage, to meet his own ends. That's the, you know. And also, Carlin surely would know that, you know what I mean. If you kill off Lelouch, then you get rid of Zero, and then you can kiss goodbye to any fucking progress you've made. That'll all be taken back again, and you'll go back to Zero again. So, you know, there's no reason there. Obviously, there's no reason for Zero to shoot Carlin. Like, that's just that's pointless. That won't happen at all. So yeah, you've got Carlin with reason to shoot Suzaku. You've got Suzaku with reason to shoot Lelouch, and you've got Lelouch with a reason to shoot Suzaku. So I don't know. I mean, I can make a theory, but it's almost pointless at this, because I feel like I've got all the reasons down why they would shoot each other. But like, you know what I mean, even if I was to just say, oh, I'm just going to guess it's this one, then either I'm right or I'm wrong, but it doesn't really matter, does it? So, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to say that Carlin shot Suzaku. But I don't think Carlin is all that skilled with hand shooting, you know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, it's obviously not going to be deadly. It's not going to be a lethal shot, but it will probably give Lelouch time to, I don't know, get through this whatever door it is, whatever the fuck, give him time to get away. I don't know what the fuck, but yeah, I'm going to guess that Carlin's the one that shoots Suzaku. Because of, you know, I just feel like the Ogi thing, sending her there, I feel like, you know what I mean, they've been like the comrades from the very beginning, so I feel like that means a lot. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's all. So awesome fucking series so far. I really fucking love this show. It's really fucking cool. So yeah, we'll be moving on to season 2 and fucking seeing what happens there. But that is the end of that. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Down in the description, I have a bunch of links to different places. One of them is the Discord. I urge everyone to go over there, especially if you want me to react to a certain show, because that is where polls and things start. For the shows that obviously take over the current ones when they come to an end and whatnot, that is where they start. So yeah, or you can just come over, talk to me, talk to the community, you know what I mean? We've got a bunch of different shit going on over there, so you know what I mean? It's always a fun time. My PO box is also in the description below, so if you do want to send me anything at all, you can do. Obviously I'll open it up on camera. It'll be a nice little addition to the video once I get the fucking setup, you know what I mean, like the backdrop and whatnot, like maybe like a shelving unit here or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean. If you send me something like these or whatever, you know what I mean, then that's something that I can obviously put in the background and you know, just, you know, make it a bit more interesting background, you know what I mean, because I fucking, you know what I mean, I didn't really like the last one, so I mean, because obviously it was like the most blah whatever the fuck, you know what I mean. I didn't actually set up like my background for that. It was just, that was what it was, you know what I mean. I just was making videos and that just happened to be the background. Whereas this, I purposely made this and got this desk like in this position so that I could have a backdrop. So yeah, if you do want to send me anything at all, then you can do it with that address down there. And obviously the big one is Patreon. So the big one is obviously $5 a month. That is early access. That's the early access tier. So for that, you get access to videos a week early. And instead of getting 2 videos a week per show, you actually get 4 videos a week per show. And that goes across the shows that are enlisted on Patreon. So that's the 4 shows are Psycho Pass, Suzumiya Haruhi now instead of Haikyuu, Tokyo Ghoul and Code Geass. Across all them shows, you get 4 videos every single week. So that's 16 across all the shows a week, 64 across the whole month, as opposed to the 32 that only the general public get. So yeah, instead of 2 videos a week, it's 4 videos a week per show. Yeah, so that's the early access tier. So if you're clamoring for more reactions from me, that is the tier to go for. $5 a month, pretty good value. So yeah, $10 that is full length. So if you want to watch my full unedited reactions, then that is the place to go. That goes across all the shows, like including obviously My Hero, Attack on Titan, ReZero, and all of the previous ones that I just mentioned. All of them, all the reactions to the shows I get, they all have full length reactions, unedited. So yeah, it's $10. $15, that is the exclusive tier. So for that, you actually get access to another show I'm currently doing, which is Parasite, every Wednesday. So if you want to see me react to Parasite, that's the place to go. Also, all OVAs across all shows now go into the exclusive tier patronage. So if you're wanting to watch any OVAs at all, that'll be the place you have to go. Alright, jumping up a bit, $50 a month, that is the elite tier. That gives you a choice of 1 show per payment that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. So obviously with being elite tier, I'll go to the back of the queue. There is obviously a bunch of people who have already paid for their shows to be reacted to, so I think there's a list of about maybe 7 that are in the sort of like the backlog, so it might take a while to get there, but you know what I mean. But that's elite tier. If you want to jump the queue though, so you actually get put to the front, then you want to get God tier, which is $100. Okay, so the rules across both of those last 2, the elite and God tier, is that the show must be 150 episodes or less, and it must be a show that I have never watched before. And both of those tiers are accumulative as well. So God tier and elite tier, it's accumulative, meaning that obviously my Patreon is set up to be a pay monthly schedule, like kind of thing. So if you pay like $100 for God tier 1 month, you choose a show, and then the second month comes along and you pay another $100, you get a choice of another show. So every time you pay $100 or $50, then you get a choice of a show every time you pay. So it's pretty good. So yeah, that is all. So thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.